you start to look at the AFC. You look at, some of these quarterbacks who might not be in the playoffs. Joe Burrow. Boy, what happened to the Bengals? You beat the Ravens, and then all of a sudden you get shut out at home against the Ravens. But Patrick Mahomes, Chargers, what's going to get lost in the Patrick Mahomes injury is the Chargers winning that game. That was a big game. Big game, winning it in that climate. And, you got the Chargers and the Jags, and I don't know if I don't know how many of you are all in on those two teams. Yes, the Jags haven't played anybody second half of the year, but they've won those games. It's week in and week out where we go, how did you lose to that team? So I do have to give them credit. Granted, they beat up on the Jets. Trevor Lawrence looked great. Liam Cohen has done a really good job with Jacksonville. Came over from Tampa as their offensive coordinator. He's done a really good job, just like he did with Baker Mayfield. And, the Kansas City loss, the Chargers did just enough to win that game. And that's all you need to do. When you get to the playoffs, there's degree of difficulty. It doesn't matter. You don't get stylized points. You just win the game. But you start to look at Josh Allen and what he did in the second half. That's what you need. That was a playoff-like performance. You're down 21-0. You're in New England, and all of a sudden social media's got your coach fired, and the Bills will never win a Super Bowl, and the Patriots could be the best team in football Buffalo ends up winning that game. And now you don't have Mahomes in there. You don't have Joe Burrow. I don't know if we're going to have Lamar Jackson. But you do have Josh Allen. And Josh Allen is the best quarterback right now in football. If I was going to look at, can that guy win a game? That guy, Stafford's probably going to be your MVP. But I'm looking at one guy dominating. And Josh Allen is that guy. Now, I don't think the team is great. They might be good. But what he's doing and now what we expect him to do, this isn't the best Buffalo team. I love James Cook. He runs hard. I don't know if they have enough. But maybe they don't need enough this year because we're not sure about Jacksonville, the Texans, Chargers. Denver looked really good. That defense was impressive, really impressive. And, that's what you want. You beat a Green Bay team, and now all of a sudden Micah Parsons is out probably for the rest of the year, it looks like. The injuries with the Packers. Now it's up to, can Jordan Love be that kind of guy? Can he win you games? You get to this point in the season, and you look at your quarterback and say, can you be the difference? Can Justin Herbert be the difference? Bo Nix sometimes can be the difference. But he doesn't have to be the difference all the time because that defense is really good. But Bo Nix, when he plays well and that defense, they could be the best team in the AFC, the best team in the NFL. The Rams, we've seen them where they're like unbelievable. And then we see them where we go, wait a minute, what happened? Stafford played well. I still think that's a really balanced team. I want to make sure that, injuries with the Rams, because this time of the year, everybody's dealing with this. And I think that's the key is let's win. Let's stay healthy too. And then you got the game tonight with the Steelers and the Dolphins. All right, Seton, what's poll question today?
Well, we got a bunch of teams in the hunt here. So if we were to run down this list, Lions, Cowboys, Panthers, Colts, Ravens, Dolphins, who gets in?
Oh, I'd probably have to take a closer look at all of that. The Lions are in a tough division. Bears ended up winning. The Vikings beat the Cowboys, but they're out of the playoff picture. So I'd have to look at how you measure up in your division here.
There are some teams that jump out just by name value that you're like, oh, they're obviously in, and others that are in there that are like, obviously not. Like the Lions to me is like, obviously they're going to make it.
They should.
They should. Right? The Ravens to me is still the same thing. I know there's a weird Ravens team, but I still have it in my head of like, but obviously, depending on the week, they could be the best team you ever saw or the worst.
And you're in that division where it might be the first team to 9 wins gets into the postseason. Yes, Todd.
I want to believe in the Panthers, but then they have that egg against the Saints in their last 3 games. They got to play the Bucks twice, which will tell us a lot about that division, and the Seahawks between those 2 Bucks games for Carolina.
Yeah, even Seattle. Like, I'm still not sure. They could have lost. They could have lost that game at home to a grandpa. And I'm watching the game, and look, if Phillip Rivers came on the show, I would say, I think my arm might be stronger than yours. And he would probably agree. But he did okay. After the game, he was really emotional for the opportunity to be able to come back and play.
Grateful. Running out for warm-ups and all that, and out there for the anthem. And as the game just got going, I was just thankful, grateful that I was out there. And it was a blast. But obviously the emotions now are disappointment, right? Disappointment. This isn't about me. We had a team that was scrapping like crazy to try to stay alive and get in the postseason. So obviously we're all disappointed.
Yeah, but he did a pretty good job. But really the star for the Colts to me was their defense, keeping Seattle in check in Seattle. But Phillip Rivers threw a touchdown pass, and they had a chance to win. But give credit to Seattle. You end up winning that game. That's a big game, and then you got the game coming up on Thursday night against the Rams. But this was about comebacks. 6 teams, Bills, Falcons, Saints, Rams, Seahawks, Chargers, rallied from at least 10 down to win in Week 15. That's the second time this season 6 teams have rallied to win after trailing by 10 or more. Stat of the day brought to you by Panini America. Also with Justin Herbert, he now has almost 3,200 passing yards, 23 touchdown passes. And the reason why I bring that up, the only players in the history of the NFL with at least 3,000 passing yards and at least 20 passing touchdowns in each of their first 6 seasons, Peyton Manning and Russell Wilson.
Woo! Ow! Stat of the day! Stat of the day! Stat of the day! Stat of the day! This is the stat of the day!
And how about my Raiders? Yes, at the beginning of the year, I bet, Fritzy, the Raiders would have a better record than the Broncos. They were shut out 31-0. Now, keep in mind, I can go back to Week 7 when they were shut out 31-0 by the Chiefs. Yes, they're the first team to be shut out by the Super Bowl teams from the previous year since the Colts in 1972, and they were shut out by the identical score. Congratulations, Raiders. Congratulations. Like how Pete Carroll said, no, this team hadn't quit. The scary part is, like, if he said, no, I think we quit, okay, the fact that he says, no, we didn't quit, and you lost 31-0,
Right.
That's the problem. Yes, Todd.
And that was a Super Bowl 15 rematch. You got to get up for these kind of games. I don't understand.
Thank you, Todd. All righty. Seton, any other poll questions today?
Yeah, this is a little off the beaten path, maybe, but
Seton path.
off the seat path. Which quarterback had the best weekend?
Ooh. Okay.
I'll give you 4 options.
All right.
Brock Purdy.
Okay, it was against the Titans, but okay.
Well, you're going to be able to say that against all these guys. But these, to me, are all guys that needed a big weekend and got it.
Oh, so Josh Allen's not on this list.
Josh Allen is on this list. He's the next quarterback.
Oh, yeah, but he beat the Patriots in New England.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that's better than Brock Purdy beating the Titans.
Brock Purdy, he needed a big weekend.
Okay.
Josh Allen, obviously, monster weekend. C.J. Stroud. He's sort of up and down, especially this third year.
I don't even know what his numbers were.
And he gets that sort of label of like, well, his defense is carrying it.
That's true.
Which may or may not be true. However, he still had a pretty great weekend.
Okay.
Trevor Lawrence.
Ooh.
Maybe had one of the best games of his career, probably, right?
Has to be the best game. Accounted for 6 touchdowns.
I mean, that's...
Yeah, that was great.
Those are your 4 options.
Okay.
Brock Purdy, Josh Allen, C.J. Stroud, Trevor Lawrence. Maybe there's others if anyone else would like to populate.
I would put Trevor Lawrence in there because, we still want to see this. And the fact that he showed that he's capable of doing this, that's what surprised me. I mean, everybody's played those who played the Jets, how many, quarterbacks have put up these kind of numbers? We're still waiting to see, will the real Trevor Lawrence please stand up?
We keep getting every once in a while, every couple of weeks, you get a glimpse of Trevor Lawrence, the one that we expected to see,
yeah,
and the one that we all want to see, and you're like, see, there it is. Yeah. That's the guy. If he could just do that every week,
he'd be an MVP. Good. He'd be a Hall of Famer.
Yeah.
Yes, Paulie.
I got to throw Phil Rivers in there. I mean, what people expected from him, people said that would be a disaster. NFL reporters and analysts said it would be a disaster. He was 18 for 27, 120 and a touchdown, and he kept them in it. He was only sacked once. He didn't run for a yard because he didn't want to, but he drove them down just enough to get a field goal to take the lead. He didn't give it up.
Yes, Todd.
I would vote for Trevor Lawrence, but I think at least an also ran Bo Nix 4 touchdowns over 300 yards against Green Bay should be mentioned.
Yeah, shocker.
It should be in the mix of the discussion.
Yeah. In case you're not watching on Peacock, Todd is decked out in his Broncos gear.
My Hanukkah Broncos shirt.
Yeah. Now, could I wear that in lieu of taking a pie to the face if I wore that sweater on Friday the entire day?
Seems like an easy way out. In the spirit of the holidays, I would probably allow it so that you don't have to get the pie in the face because I'm a good guy like that.
I think that would be a noble gesture.
I thought you doubled down on Friday, wasn't it? I had the bet with the Wisconsin lady, and then you jumped in on that.
No, it was going to take away my pie if Green Bay won. I didn't double down. We had a caller who said, "Hey, if Green Bay wins, then Dan doesn't take the pie to the face," and whatever the other wording was with that bet. But it was either I was getting a pie or not. I'm going to get a pie on Friday.
And when people call in, I'm assuming that this is true. If you lose, they have to send in an actual video so we can have fun with it, with a look at it and see that they actually took the pie to the face. They can't just say I got a pie to the face.
No, we have people who send them in, Todd.
I know, but I want to make sure everyone does that.
Well, why don't you write them down then?
I should.
Why don't you keep track? And are you owed a pie to the face?
Yeah. From her for the Packer Bronco bet, and us with the 12-2, 2-12 Broncos Raiders.
No. You don't get a pie to the face.
Do not.
Yeah. Okay. Marvin's got one, and I've got one. I don't know. Seaton's got to get a spray tan. We got to clean all this up by the end of the year. But I'll be happy to take a pie to the face on Friday. Or I'll wear your Hanukkah Broncos sweater the entire show.
That's pretty wild.
Yes, Tom.
Didn't we used to have someone on social media that would keep track of these bets? I don't know if that person's out of business or how accurate it was, but I remember seeing that on Twitter. There was a while where they were literally listing all the different bets that were going on.
What kind of business is that you keep track of pie to the face?
You're not going to get very wealthy doing that. It's a nice little fun side hobby.
How about we take a break? We'll get to some phone calls coming up. 877-3DP Show, best and worst of the weekend, right after this.